Hey guys, just want to take a few minutes today to talk to husbands specifically. Just some things that have been on my heart. I've been reading about this morning, been thinking about my role as a husband, what God has called me to do. And there's a phrase in 1 Peter chapter 3 that just really jumped out at me today in describing the responsibility that I have towards my wife, that all husbands have towards their wives. It's in 1 Peter 3:7. This is the way the English Standard Version reads it. It says, "Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman." You know, men and women are different. Obviously, that's how God designed us. And I think within our lifetime, we will never fully understand the differences there. But I don't think that we are intended to understand the differences. I think we are supposed to learn grace and learn patience through the relationship that we have with one another. And especially men, the Bible tells us we need to be understanding towards our wives. Now, I don't know what that looks like for you guys, but when I read that verse, that means whenever I come home from work, I need to consider the fact that my wife has been at home all day with a couple of kids, that she might not have had a chance to take a shower or to clean up the kitchen or to do the seemingly menial tasks that would normally take 5-10 minutes to do, but instead she's had to chase our little hooligans around. And so when I come home, I put myself in her shoes, I put my mind in her mind, and I deal with her in a way that is reasonable, that is understanding. And I think that's an incredibly important principle that we need to adopt. Not simply because it's in the Bible, but for the sake of our wives. If we're going to help them develop, if we're going to nurture them and treat them as Christ loved the church, we've got to be more understanding, because by nature, men are conquerors. We're fixers. We're men that look at situations and we say, how can we get her done? That's our nature. And the Bible calls us to take a step back in grace and love and patience, and to deal with our wives in an understanding way, in the way that we talk to them, in the way that we treat them. I mean, this is a great principle that applies everywhere in our lives, but especially as we are trying to develop intimacy and this oneness that God calls us to, we need to be considerate and understanding towards our wives. Because when we don't, we won't experience the joy and the blessings of that relationship. And more importantly, we won't allow God to develop us into the person that He would desire us to be. And so, men, when you get home today, or when you get done working today, I want you to think about what Peter says. Live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman. How can you do that for your wife today?